The healthcare setting is a wonderful place to work. We get to take care of patients, and we get job satisfaction from doing a great job at that. However, it's also a very stressful job. There is so much that we go through emotionally, mentally, and physically just doing the day-to-day tasks that we do, whether we work on a floor, in an ER, in an ICU, on a pediatric transport truck. It doesn't matter. It can be a high-stress job, and there's so many things that can happen that can really cause internal distress for the healthcare worker. And I have found through the years that though your spouse or your loved ones or your parents may be able to support you and hear your stories and listen to you, I found that no one really truly gets it more than another healthcare worker. Someone usually who works in your own department, your fellow nurses, your fellow doctors, your fellow residents or PCAs or your nursing director. They're living the same job you're living every day, and they get it. And so it is so important that as a nurse, you have the ability to recognize this stress and these issues in your coworkers and in yourself, and that you rely on each other to help each other out. Sometimes the simplest little thing can mean the most to somebody who's going through a rough time at work for whatever reason. Let me tell you a story that probably didn't make the news. As you all know, in Boston, we went through the horrible marathon bombings in the recent years. And that was a very, very difficult day for the entire city, for all of the ERs, for all of the ICUs, and for all of the floors and all the aftermath, taking care of these patients. But on the day of the bombings, obviously this was national news. So everywhere around the country was alerted to the fact that we had undergone a terrorist attack, that bombs had gone off at the finish line, and that there were victims at the line who had passed away at the scene, and there were victims being transported to all 4 major level 1 trauma centers in the city of Boston. At my ER at Mass General Hospital, that day, in the midst of all of the chaos that was going on, there wasn't going to be any lunch breaks or dinner breaks. We were clearing every patient out of that ER in preparation for all the mass casualties we were going to get. Everybody was discharged within 20 minutes or sent to the floors or wherever they needed to go in order to open up rooms. Staff from all over the hospital descended on us in an effort to help us all out and to maximize resources. Operating rooms got up and running and ready to go, kits open, so that they could hit the door and start doing a case. And in all of that chaos, we managed to get 2 major deliveries, one for lunch and one for dinner. And they came from 2 different ERs across the country. An ER in California and an ER in Florida saw what we were going through on the news, and they called, Googled on the internet, found the local pizza place, and ordered 50 pizzas to be delivered to us as a way to say, we know what you're going through. We know you're not going to get a break. We know that you're not going to stop to feed yourself. But if we can give you a slice of pizza in between running from room to room, or before you go on to take care of the next patient, after everything's calmed down a bit, this is what we want to do to help you, because we live it every day. We prepare for these disasters. We know what you're going through. That meant the world to all the nurses in our ER, to all the doctors in our ER, to know that 2 other facilities were thinking of us and wanted to do something. They really got it. They knew what we were going through, and they wanted to let us know, you're not alone. We understand. And that was awesome. It really gave everybody a sense of community with everyone around the country. And the cool thing was just a couple days later, after we had gone through that horrible disaster, a fertilizer plant in Texas blew up. And there were mass casualties and burn victims. And we all got together in our ER and we said, let's pay it forward. And what did we do? We Googled and found the local pizza place. We all collected money amongst all of the staff, from secretaries to PCAs to everybody. And we ordered 50 pizzas to be delivered to their ER to take care of their staff in the middle of their disaster. And the thank you letters we got back from that ER were just amazing. So much so were they appreciative, and that their town was appreciative, that one of the residents that live in their town is a master barbecue pit chef. And he turned around a couple weeks later and got on his private jet and flew up to Boston, landed at Logan Airport, and his crew descended off the plane and came over to our ER and fed us his restaurant's home-cooked barbecue for our entire emergency department. It's only food. That's all I'm talking about is food. But that's not it. It's the thought. It's the things that people do to take care of one another, to let them know you're not alone, that we appreciate it, that we can pay it forward, that we recognize when other ERs are going through and they're not alone. And this relates to ICUs and floors and palliative care and hospice nurses. You have to take care of each other. Buy your friend a cup of coffee. Give them a chance to sit there and talk for a minute and just lend an ear. Sometimes that is the best medicine. Debriefings, critical incident stress management meetings, they're wonderful. They really helped me. They've helped many of my coworkers, and they will continue to help others in the future. But sometimes the everyday stuff needs to be acknowledged too, and just be there for your coworkers and recognize when they need your help, and they will appreciate it, and you'll feel good too.